Good afternoon. Hi. Well, technically it's morning, and normally I wouldn't be up this early, but I'm so excited for today's guest. My name is Jenelle Riley. I'm so happy to welcome you to this Q&A with my obsession, the unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. And at this time, I'm so pleased to welcome the actor who brings the Pinot Noir-loving Titus Andromeda to life. He is, of course, a 3-time Emmy nominee and a SAG Award nominee. Thank you all for his work. Please welcome Tituss Burgess.
Thank you.
Coke should actually make you a spokesperson.
It sure
after that.
should.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Does that response just follow you everywhere you go? I can't even imagine. I know when I see you, I start screaming. But
I feel like I had that response for people.
Well, this is an audience of SAG actors. These are your people. So I always like to start by asking, how did you get your SAG card?
I think I did an Olive Garden commercial. Yeah. And that food was good.
It is.
You know how they give you the trash can and you know when you're done and you spit it out because you're so health conscious. Fuck that, give me this food.
Was this in New York, I presume?
It was my first commercial. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long ago was that? Do you remember?
Ooh, let's see. I was in Guys and Dolls, so that's 2007.
Oh, so you were already
2008.
You were already doing Broadway shows.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I usually don't jump to audience questions as quickly, but this is actually one I wanted to know because I think we all first came to know you as DeFawn on 30 Rock.
All right.
Originally, and so Megan wanted to know when you landed the role, did you ever imagine it would lead to the amazing Emmy-nominated and SAG-nominated role like Titus?
No. I didn't even think that Tina Fey was paying attention. And also, I was only supposed to, I auditioned for an under 5. So when I got there was like 3 scenes or whatever. And it was my first network television show, yeah. And I had no idea what I was doing. And I remember thinking, God, I hope when I get to work that it's someone else's coverage first, because I didn't know where I was supposed to look or what to do. And of course, the first scene I have is with Tina Fey. But I was so fucking happy to have a job. I wasn't thinking about getting a fucking award. Like, I was just, glad to be working.
And from what I recall, you almost didn't even go to the audition for that role. Yeah, this is crazy.
So
By the way, can I just say, look at how he handles that. Such a singer.
I was sick the morning of this under 5, and it was literally one sentence, and I don't remember what the sentence was, but because of my ignorance as it relates to TV back then, I thought, well, how am I going to make, a thesis statement out of a subject and a predicate? Like, I need something else to do. So I was like, oh, this isn't worth my time. And I called my manager. She's like, oh, Titus, come on. We're just gaining some momentum. You got to rally, And I was like, but I don't feel well or whatever. She's like, you don't have to feel well to say one line. Get your ass there and go. So I was living in Hell's Kitchen at the time, and I had never been to the Rockefeller Plaza ever, even to see the fucking tree. And I walked in, because there's like 19 entrances, and then they were like, you got to go to the security desk. And I was like, okay, that's great, but where is it? And so I wandered around that place. So at this point, I'm like 45 minutes late. So I call my manager. I was like, okay, I'll FaceTime you. I'm legit inside 30 Rock, but I don't know where I'm going. And just then, a theater colleague of mine, who I was not fond of.
Oh, was it Coriolanus Burr?
Waltzed past me, and I just he just had this, or rather she just had this look like she knew where she was going, and she did. And so I followed her, and I get upstairs, and they were an hour behind.
Nice.
So I go in, and I do the line, and before I get in the elevator, she called my manager and said I got the part. The answer's no.
And then did they just keep inviting you back? I mean, was there a point where you realized like this character was taking off?
No, because I was still very much theater-centric focused. So again, I was just so pleased that they thought enough to bring me back, and it was terribly fun to do. But there were large chunks of time in between, so it didn't have I didn't feel like I was on it as much as it may have seemed. But by the end, though, I was like, oh, this is everything. Like I they're such smart writers, and I was desirous of continuing that type of work.
And from what I understand, like you did a scene with Alec Baldwin early on, and he was kind of a fan. He was really supportive.
Yeah, Alec. Alec said to me, he's like, Titus, you are one of the top 5 scene partners I've ever had, and this was my last episode. And he turned to the producers like, what are you guys fucking waiting on? This man needs a spinoff. And I do not like being the center of attention, so it made me very uncomfortable.
Wait, what?
I unless it's on purpose, unless I'm on stage or it's my job, I tend to shy away from it, but that's another story. So my insecurities. But I went home and I was like, oh my God, like this is sort of the confirmation I had been waiting for, because I was sort of theater, and I was in like couples therapy, and I was sort of transitioning out of it a little bit because it had stopped yielding. There was no reciprocity anymore. I was doing projects that I call it the big black woman that stops the show syndrome, and it would be you go and you bring down the house, and then we don't see you until the curtain call. And I was like, no, this doesn't make sense. I am the show. This should be about me. So.
Well, that's really nice to hear about Alec Baldwin, and I guess I will call off the grudge I have for him winning supporting actor this year over you, because I'm still not over that. You probably are, but I am not.
Listen, I will say, and this has nothing to do with him. You got it? But there's so many amendments that need to be made to those rules and regulations. For instance, as much as I love Transparent, that's not a comedy, and those are dramatic performances. Variety shouldn't be up against scripted. He should have won, but he should have won in a different category. Yeah. But he's so brilliant, and he's my friend, and I was very happy for him.
Yeah, no, it's a brilliant sketch performance.
Yeah,
seriously,
it really
yeah. More Trump than Trump at this point, it seems.
I know, it's so...
It's weird.
Please.
So, I mean, did Tina ever give you a hint that there was this character out there? I mean, like, I don't know if it was written for you.
We don't, like, braid each other's hair and talk.
Well, it might be hard.
Bitch, I have hair. I could grow it out just like yours. I just shaved this shit. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, no, I was, funny story about that, because from the time we had done from the time that I had finished my arc on 30 Rock, I had not, work really declined because I was, on purpose, because I was saying no to theatrical things that were being offered to me. And so I was, mind you, the only time Tina and I would talk would be in hair and makeup, and we would giggle about Smash because we loved it. And you know, we would talk about our hopes and dreams for season 3, which never was. But no personal information, not on purpose, it's just not what we spoke about. So cut to, you know, I guess like 4 or 5 years later, my manager texts me and she said, you know, Titus, when's the last time you spoke to Tina? And I was like, when, you know, I left the show. And she sent me a screenshot of the breakdown. I was living in Harlem at the time. I still live in Harlem, but I was living in Harlem at the time in a basement apartment, and I didn't have a job. And this breakdown said, seeking Titus, starving Broadway actor, lives in Harlem in a basement apartment.
No.
I swear to God. I swear to God.
Oh my God.
And I was like, either I'm about to get a job or I'm gonna sue this bitch for taking my life. So, yeah. But she did not tell me. No.
I mean, did she admit that it's somewhat based on you, or?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she did. You know, gone are the days where you get so lucky to have someone give you such a gift like that. You know, you kind of have to write stuff for it yourself. You know, but to be on her radar and to be given such complex but accessible material, I just, you know, I know that I will have good fortune, but I will never be this lucky again in my life. I already know that. And I'm so deeply, deeply grateful to her for that.
But do you still have to audition to play yourself?
I did.
Isn't that crazy? It's so crazy to me. Yeah. So did you go into an audition room and see like a bunch of you?
So there, you know, the more you, I'm sure all of you have this story, but the more you audition, you see the same 10 faces, and they are always in your, you know, time slot, you know. And so I had several of my peers text me and ask if I would coach them on how to be me. And I did, and I'm a great teacher. And I gave them wonderful notes. They could not do it. And I went and got my fucking job.
What did you think when you first read the pilot script? Because it's so funny watching the show now. You know, you can kind of forget it started with this dark premise.
Yeah, it's very dark. Yeah. And actually, the tonality for the actual pilot, because we reshot it. We did. It was very. You do remember this? It was very dark, and I had a different. It was a lot. It was still as funny, but it was a lot more brooding, a lot more serious. Mm-hmm. And Titus came off bitchy more than he did sort of hiding behind this veneer. And I remember I watched it and I was mortified. And I called Robert and I said, would you take a meeting with me? Now, sometimes ignorance truly is bliss. Because I think had I known the degree of their power and the gravity that they have, I wouldn't have been so bold about announcing what I will not do on camera. And I went in there and I was like, you know, you get one good shot if you're lucky. And you guys have, given this to me, and I said I would like to offer up some insight into who I think he is that may or may not assist you. He said, yeah, come on in. And I was like, Titus is yellow, orange, red, and lime green. Not burgundy, not brown, and never black. And that was kind of all that I said. Mm-hmm. And when we reshot it, suddenly it was all there. So, from the first one to when we reshot, it was like night and day. But it's just, yeah.
Well, I remember it had a different title. It was Tooken originally.
I love that title.
I did too. Yeah.
I think NBC wanted to change it. But yeah, I thought it was really, really funny.
Yeah. Because the idea was that I think the guy at the beginning who says Unbreakable.
Yeah.
Tooken.
Yeah. I thought it was clever, and I thought Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt was too long, and people are going to mispronounce it all the time, and they do. But now on this side of it, I can't think of it being called anything else other than what it is.
And I mean, what is it like working with this? It's just the best ensemble on TV. Oh. Or is it TV? I don't know if I'm supposed to.
Sure, it's TV.
On any media platform. I mean, Jane Krakowski is like, it's so amazing. And then you get to share these scenes with Ellie Kemper, who is that. Please don't break my heart by telling me that friendship isn't real.
It's not. So I am 100% in love with Ellie Kemper. I walked in when I had my one audition, and she was standing there, and I looked, and I didn't watch The Office, and I remember I'd seen her in Bridesmaids, and I was like, oh God, I remember loving this girl or whatever. So, and she was who I read with, and we both had the scene memorized, and I just remember the look in her eyes felt like home. And I know it sounds so dramatic, but it was just, it was alchemy, and I feel so lucky. I love her so much. I think she's so smart. I think she flies just under the radar for whatever reason. I think people, when you are that gifted, sometimes critics and the world will write your abilities off as this is just something that you house naturally, and they don't get to see the underbelly and the mathematics and all that stuff that is involved in making something look easy. And she is a hard worker, and what she does not come with a great ease. Although she's a beautifully sunny person, the questions that she asks, the sort of the collaboration that she provides is it's more than meets the eye.
It's a really hard role, actually.
It is a very hard role
to make goodness consistently appealing.
Yeah,
especially as the lead of a show.
Yeah, and to sort of have to be to always be the one to be helping everyone else, and it is a hard role.
Do you have a favorite Kimmy nickname?
Kimbecile is pretty funny.
You mentioned your audition earlier for this part. Are you generally good at auditioning, or is it?
Yeah.
Oh, good. No, thank you for being honest.
I'm a great cook. I am a great composer, and I don't mean that like this way. I just mean like, I'm not good at interior decorating, so I wouldn't go and announce how great I am at that. Yeah. But like, I know my lane, and it's fun to prepare something for you. It's like, I'm going to make you a meal, and for I don't know, a minute, 2 minutes, however long you're in there, for all intents and purposes, you are showing what an undirected, sort of self-guided performance this would be. What a treat that is for us to get to have that much control. Because once you get the job, you rarely have that much control. So, yeah, I'm good at it.
Who's your favorite? This is probably unfair of me to ask. I want to know who your favorite scene partner was on the show, but there's so many. I mean, you get to
that's
work with
hard.
Carol Kane.
I don't
This
know.
season you got to work with Peter Riegert. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. He was so great in Gypsy. Did you see that?
I did, yeah.
I'm so obsessed with that show. And Bette Midler was so wonderful. Have y'all seen Hello, Dolly?
I just saw it.
Ooh, she's so good in it. It's so great.
good. And Beanie Feldstein, who's in Lady Bird right now,
Oh, yeah.
who plays the best friend, she is the next Bette Midler.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you know Bernadette's going into
I
it.
didn't
So I'm going
know.
to go see it all over again. I cannot wait. Oh, she gives me life. What are we talking about?
Have you seen Come From Away?
I've not seen Come From
So
Away.
good,
Is
so
it?
good. Sorry.
No,
I'm just doing my
it's-
little theater. It's really fantastic.
Yeah. You know what's going to be fantastic? Mean Girls.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, I saw the workshop about 2 months ago, and I was so angry at Tina. I don't know how she does it, but it is impossibly funny. And Jeff Richmond has written such a clever score. It's going to be right up there with like Book of Mormon.
Oh,
So good. Yeah, it really will be.
I feel like this is a good time to mention that you are writing a musical.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate enough to get to hear a couple songs from it. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
I bought the rights to The Preacher's Wife.
Right.
And we have our first reading coming up. It's a Herculean task trying to do theater. I don't know why anyone does it, but it is just, and I don't know how anything gets done, because it takes so many people to make it happen. But you know, the sort of exorcism that I have found in composing and giving voice to all these different characters, I wouldn't take anything for that journey. It's been so fulfilling, because I have no real desire to be on stage theatrically, because I am so in love with what I've had the great fortune of doing right now. But you know, contributing to it in another form has been lovely. So, you know, stay tuned. We'll see what happens.
I mean, you've had the rights for a little while.
I do not recommend what I'm about to tell you, but I started writing this show before I had the rights.
Oh.
And I remember when I saw it in '97, and I just thought, oh wow, this would be such a great musical or whatever, and I just sort of threw it away. And then, of course, at Christmas, it's on loop. And I remember when I was graduating, I made a little wish list, a little, what do you call it, vision board. And on the vision board, it was, you know, to write a musical one day. And I would always be like, you know, God, give me something of substance to give back to the world theatrically, you know. And that was one of my prayers. And I remember I woke up out of my sleep, and I ran to my keyboard and I wrote the first 4 songs for it, and then I called Tom Schumacher at Disney Theatricals, and I was like, can you help me track down the rights to this? And I sent him the music, and he's like, Titus, this is really really good. I think this lies at Touchstone Pictures, which is gone now.
Yeah,
or?
it's swallowed up by Disney.
So then no one knew what the fucking rights were. And so then we called Samuel Goldwyn, because the subsidiary rights or underlying rights were with The Bishop's Wife, which was a movie based on a novel. It takes a lot of people to dig up these things, whatever. But so I quietly kept writing the score, because I just felt like, you know, there are some things in the world that you have to do whether you want to or not. And I felt like this story was one that I was supposed to tell, and it actually kind of got a little obnoxious because it was so hard to track down these rights, I was like, well, you can stop sending me songs because this is it's clearly not going to work out. And so I remember 2 years ago, I was, and this would be 4 years later, so 6 years in total I've been working on this. I finally got a call, because they don't, when you write a musical, you don't, entities usually only give the rights to producing houses, people who have a track record of actually getting something on stage, because they don't want their rights tied up with someone who doesn't know what to do or has no experience doing it, when someone else could come along and be like, I have a vision for this. And the idea seemed so obvious to me. Like, I can't believe no one's done it before. And that's what Tom said. He's like, I want to help you figure this out. And so I get a call, and it was like pouring rain. And I was actually on my way to perform with Tina at this thing called Miscast.
Oh, was this where you did the song from
City of
Angels?
Yeah. And I walk in the door, and I'm sobbing, and she's like, what's wrong? And I was like, I got the fucking rights. Like, they gave me the rights, and so it's been a long time, but it takes forever to do this stuff. But I'm so excited. I'm gonna actually be sad when it's all over, because I'm like, well, fuck, what am I doing now?
And you're not going to be in it? You're
No, I don't want to be in it. I have no desire to be Lin-Manuel Miranda. I want to. My earnest desire is to. I know a lot of brilliant people who have not had the opportunities that I've had, who need me to help them. My voice teacher in college would always say, Titus, when you see someone in the family, it is your job. When you see someone in the family who do not know that they are your relative, it is your job to remind them who they are. And I'm going to employ as many of these brilliant people as possible, but I want to do that across the board. I know what it feels like to be center stage and take the spotlight, but there's some of my friends are just so gifted. Let them do it, and so yeah, I'm not going to be in it.
I guess that's one of the ways you're very different from Titus the character. I can't imagine.
I'm nothing like that, man.
Yeah. I know. Do people assume that you are that person?
Yeah. I mean, certainly sharing the same name.
No. It's different. There's an S.
Titus.
There's an extra S. Yes.
People do, assume, but that's okay, I suppose. Yeah, whatever.
Are your fan encounters generally positive? I mean, they might be scary.
Yeah, I mean, people feel very comfortable.
I can vouch for that. I apologize.
Yeah. And it's a very grabby, huggy, without asking kind of world. And don't do it from the back. I'm like, bitch, this is how you get cut. We're in Harlem. So that's a little much, but as I told you, I don't like to be the center of attention, so it really makes me uncomfortable. But I take it with a grain of salt. It's when you feel love for your partner or your child or your dog, you have a strong, intense desire to show them and to shower them with gifts and loves and superlatives. And if people didn't feel that way about Titus and Ramadan, I would not have a job. So it's a residual effect, and I'm very happy for it.
Did it happen sort of overnight for you? Because all those episodes dropped of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and within a day, the world was in love with you.
That was weird. I went to I remember I walked out of my apartment. I guess this is maybe like a week into or after it had premiered, and I was going to my favorite 99-cent store.
No, it's not just that it's a 99-cent store, it's that you have a favorite.
Oh yeah. It's like it really is. It's like you walk in and like there's so many possibilities. I'm serious. It's really great. And I was like, you know, and my salesperson there, who still works there, is from Pakistan, and I was like, this man don't know who I am. Like, this is gonna be fine, so I could, you know, continue to have a place all my own. And I walk in and I got my buggy and I look crazy. My rollers are in my hair, and I didn't have on any lipstick. And I go to the counter and I'm taking my stuff out, and he goes, "Unbreakable." I'm like, shit. Now I got to pick another store.
What about the TV community? I heard they really embraced you too. Like,
Yeah, I did not anticipate such overwhelming love and support. You know, theater is equally as loving, but oftentimes I have found in my experience that there is not the sort of, a lot of people operate out of lack and not the assumption that there is room for us all to be brilliant. And I remember when I forget the name of the party. Is it the evening before or the night before?
Evening before, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I walked through the front entrance there, and I remember Candy Alexander walks up to me and she goes, "We have been waiting for you," and it just like went through my body, like I couldn't do it. And then I walk past Kerry Washington, who was talking to someone very important, and I just sort of, I wanted to say hi, but I didn't, or whatever. And so I walked past her and she grabs me and she goes, "Hello, family." You know, and it was just like, this shit was blowing my mind. Like, I was like, this is crazy.
That's so great.
It's beautiful.
I have a question I have a lot of questions. I'm sorry if I'm not able to get to them all. Lauren Thompson. Oh, right there? Right there, sorry. I love the show so much, I even quoted it in my wedding vows. Which line, do you mind?
In what context? Okay. I bet that was a fun as shit wedding.
I assumed it was going to be, I did something yesterday. What would you say is your favorite line from the show?
You just said it. I've already done something today. I feel like that most days.
Did you ever know you'd become a meme? I mean, there was a meme for everything.
No, I mean, it's fun and funny how nowadays you can have a whole conversation without actually having the conversation. Yeah, but no, I never thought that.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I should have asked this, and I didn't. Terry Gamble? Oh, nice handwriting. Has a question.
Oh, I love those glasses.
Yeah.
Oh.
Look at that handwriting.
Wow.
I know. Has a question for the incomparable Titus. Wants to know how much fun was it to Lemonade? Whose idea was it? Was it a collaboration? And how do you, this is great. How do you keep your character grounded even when he's crazy?
I'll start with the last part of that question. For Titus to go through such extremities always to express himself, when something is extreme, that means there's a great distance from beginning to its end, right? Which means there is great emotional depth. And so I I don't have a hard time feeling the gravity of it, and in fact, to sort of uproot or pull upward the genus of whatever the emotion is, I think, means he has to go through further extremities because he is so uncomfortable living in where it is originally housed. And so that is how I justify how off the charts he'll go. Yeah? Yeah.
And then lemonading.
Oh, very good.
Oh.
That was, I mean, come on. Beyonce is, she's the president. Like,
Oh, I wish.
I just, you know, Sir and Rumi, I just, I'm so grateful for them, you know, that they've joined us on Earth. And I think about them daily. And to, you know, just it's a sign of how much influence she has on not just pop culture, but culture in general for something that started off as a pop culture phenomenon to become part of the cultural fabric in a very casual way now, shows her influence. So to sort of be a part of that umbrella was great. I don't enjoy putting on dresses and wearing heels, but I would do it again in a heartbeat to sort of do a little nod to her.
This is my dream because my dream is for you to host Saturday Night Live, and I can't believe it hasn't happened. I'm dying for this to happen. I've been campaigning for this for some time, but then Beyonce is the musical guest. Yes, I'm putting it out there into the universe.
I don't ever think I've had a, okay. I don't think I've ever had a dream given to me.
You're welcome.
Oh my God. That is orgasmic. Wow, that would be amazing.
Or everyone will it into the universe to happen. Yes.
I love it, yeah.
Before we go, and I have one last question, but I'm going to save it because I want to make sure everyone knows you're going to be doing a show here in LA.
Oh, yeah.
29th, I believe?
At the El Rey Theater, doing a concert on November 29th at 7:30. So come play with me. It's going to be a lot of fun. We sing lots of pop songs and just hang out. I never really get a chance to be me. It's in a musical setting that is outside of a narrative. And so there are lots of great artists that I want to, you know, thank and people that I listen to that perhaps are off the beaten path that I think people should know more about, so explore some of those anthologies.
I don't know if you can get the rights. Obviously, you played Sebastian on Broadway in The Little Mermaid, and you did it again at the Bowl, which was
oh my God, that was so much fun.
Amazing. And I heard you were sick when you did it.
I was sick.
It was like a mind-blowing performance, and then they're like, yeah, he almost didn't go out.
Yeah, like I got off that plane, and I don't know what it is, but that flight from New York to LA, Jesus, it is so brutal. And this one day, it was unusually cold that week in New York, and then I get here and it's a fucking sauna, and I get off that plane and she was gone, and I was like, oh no, because this shit is too hard to sing, or at least the way that I do it. So I called them and I was like, no, let me not call them. Let me call my ENT to see what she suggests, because I don't want to. If I can fix this, I don't want to involve the world. So she calls one of her best friends out here, who then comes to visit me at the hotel because I refused to go back out into the air. And I had sat in the shower in a steam, and with eucalyptus. I mean, it was just so dramatic. And I hear a little knock on the door, and she brings these tools that I'm sure are illegal, and she gives me a shot in my booty, and some more pills orally, and then about 6 hours later, I've sounded like Beyonce. And I'm certain that was witchcraft, because I've never heard of this woman ever again. So we fixed it, yeah.
So the question that I'm not going to ask, but Jodie Thomas is, please don't hate me for this. This is her.
No, of course not.
But would you mind singing just a tiny bit of something for us, please?
May peace be with you till we meet again.